Okay.
Yeah. Right, good morning, Prof and fellow classmates. Today, together with Jayden, Zixiang, Zhang Xue and Jermaine, we will present to you something about intercultural communication. So before I even go into this topic, I just want to share some story with you. Recently, my friend actually, he went over to Japan for a holiday and he went to catch a movie. So after the movie, right, it's actually quite interesting. When he decided to stand there and leave during the credits roll, he realized that none of them actually left. So why is this so? Because to them, right, it's actually it's out of respect that they will sit through the whole credits so that to appreciate what the creator has done for them. So yeah, this is one thing, one different culture between Japan and Singapore, and there's a lot more, but I will just illustrate one. So let's jump on straight into our topic. So what are we presenting to you today? We are presenting to you about a movie that we decided to watch for this assignment. So why did we choose this? Not because we just want to watch a movie and slack, but it's a very interesting movie. So this movie is called Outsourced. It's released on 2006. It's actually about these two guys, these two main foreign characters, Todd Anderson and Pu Ro. Yeah. So what happened is this American guy Todd, he decided to he was being forced to go India to train his replacement manager over at India just because the company wanted to cut costs, which is a very sad thing for him. So this is actually his so-called replacement manager that he has to train. So this is just some background knowledge about the movie. This, of course, any movie there will be a need for some female lead. So this is one of the female lead called Aisha, one of the workers at the call center, and she's one of the very important characters as well because she's the one that teaches the main character about all the different cultures in India, and he try to convince the main character to adapt to their culture instead of the employee trying to adapt over. So it's like a two-way thing. Next, this is one of their meeting rooms at India. So as you can see, it's like an open space. It doesn't look like the general meeting room that we have, like in a closed room and soundproof place. It's like open space and there's farms all around. That's why there's suddenly a cow that appears in the meeting room. So another quite interesting scene that I find is this part whereby he chose to use his left hand and pick up food from the plate, and he uses the left hand back and eat. So everyone there was like staring at him like he's doing something wrong, but he's like, what am I doing wrong? So he's like stunned, he doesn't know what to do. But actually it's because they are supposed to use the left hand and pick up the food, put onto their right hand and eat with their right hand. So they are not supposed to use the hand that they put onto the food to put back into the mouth and then take the food again. I think it's like a culture thing in India, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So this is another scene. This is their office actually. So because there's farm all around the place, there's one time whereby the whole farm was flooded and they have no choice and they have to so-called continue working in this kind of environment while they try to use a bucket and scoop out all the water and throw it out. So it's a very interesting movie indeed. So lastly, there's of course some of this kind of scene, but it's still a PG. So we really recommend you all to catch this movie because it's a very interesting movie and really teaches you all the different culture of India, which is very, very interesting. It's a very funny show as well. So don't take this presentation as a very formal presentation. We would like to show you all what this movie is about. So just hope you all enjoy this mini trailer by us about intercultural communication as well. So next I would like to pass on to Jayden to talk more about what this whole intercultural communication is about. Yeah, Jayden.
Okay, thank you, Daphne. So let me start off with why is intercultural communication so important. Intercultural communication, as you guys know, globalization has become a trend. People have to interact with the rest of the world for survival and also to improve their business in various aspects. As good relationship comes with good communication. So me and my team will be presenting to you various factors contributing to an effective intercultural communication. First, let's move on to power distance. So what is power distance? Power distance is defined as how people view their superior and subordinate relationship. It's the degrees of acceptance whereby lower powerful members of the organization lower powerful members of the organization accept power distribution to be unequal. So it can be subcategorized into high and low power distance. Culture with high power distance, they have a higher degree of acceptance, whereby subordinates know their hierarchical position and they accept what power they are assigned to. They do not question or challenge decisions made by their superiors. Whereas, on the other hand, low power distance culture display a strong concept whereby lower subordinates challenge their boss to their decision when it comes to suggestion of an idea or maybe decision making. This culture, such countries are like the Western countries, and also they tend to be more democratic and want to be equal. Okay, now let's move on to a short clip.
Restructure how? Offshore the whole department. It's a good one. I'm not kidding. Check out the spreadsheet. Any American job that's done on the phone or online is going overseas. The savings are incredible.
This is some kind of weird psychological test you're pulling on me right there. It's like a ritual hazing for the annual review.
It's not part-time, you're reduced on. You've been working from up on 4.5 years, not 5.
You can't outsource a quarter of the building. Our catalog is patriotic and next. If a factory worker from Wisconsin calls the 800 number to buy this and gets a person in another country, it's going to flip out.
Okay. As you guys can see from the video, what Todd's company is undergoing some restructuring. His boss requires him to be detached overseas to India to handle this call center. So what Todd's reaction was, he was very resistant at the start. Firstly, he disbelieved what his boss is talking to him, telling him that he need to be detached over. He said, it can't be happening, it can't happen to me. And second, unwillingness came by. He's very unwilling to go over to a strange environment whereby he do not know anything about the culture. Next, he challenges the decision made by his boss, which says that this idea will not work out. Next, we have uncertainty avoidance. As the title suggests, uncertainty avoidance is to avoid anything that cannot be controlled or unpredictable. It's the degree of participation in an environment to stay comfortable. The tolerance with changes and ambiguity. The willingness to take risks. It can be subcategorized into high and low as well. In a low uncertainty avoidance, people tend to be accepting more ambiguity, more entrepreneurial, less risk-taking, and they tend to be dependent on less structured rules. Such countries are like Singapore, China, and India. As you all know, you guys have just finished I/O. During I/O, you do not challenge your superior of the decision they made, or maybe question them. High uncertainty avoidance, people tend to enjoy more stability, dependent on structured rules, social norms, and they are less comfortable to take risks. Such countries are Japan and Greece. So moving on, I'll pass the time to. Next, I will let you guys view another video.
Right, next time you're on a call, try to listen carefully to the customer's pronunciation, their slang, small talk. Try to learn from them. Learn about America. So, yes, you are?
Man meat.
Man, meat.
No, man meat. What I want to know is, what is small talk?
Oh, it's like, how you doing today? How's the weather in Arizona? You can talk about sports. Right, never mind, forget sports. But you want to sound American. If anyone asks where you're located, just say Chicago. Right? Try that. Chicago. Okay, when you make the ah sound, just hold your nose to flatten the vowel, like Chicago.
Chicago.
It's great.
Okay, what you guys see in the video is that Todd requests his subordinates to actually impersonate American natives by changing their accent and the way they talk. Because this is due to customer dissatisfaction, as Indians do not tend to articulate properly as compared to Americans. No offense, but is the way they appreciate the accent by the American natives. So, what the subordinate do is they accept and willing to change by doing what his boss, his superior tell him to do, which is to pronounce Chicago. Okay. Now I'll pass on the time to Zhang Xue to talk more about other factors contributing to effective intercultural communication.
Thanks, Jordan. Next, I will introduce two more dimensions of intercultural communication. First, contact culture. Low contact culture uses language primarily to express thoughts, feelings, and ideas as logically and clearly as possible. North American and most of Western Europe people belong to a low contact culture. In the film, Todd has a straight talking style and has no hidden implications. He speaks very directly when communicating with others. For example, when he was first taken to the workplace, he didn't hide his reactions and dissatisfactions with a high MPI rate. He asks directly, why is the MPI so bad? Moreover, he asks, this place is a disaster. All these languages and behaviors reflect low contact culture. In contrast, high contact culture relies heavily on subtle, often verbally accused to covering meanings, save face, and maintain social harmony. Most of Middle East, Asia, African, and South American belong to a high contact culture. In the film, Puru has an indirect talking with his verbally implicate and has involved reactions and emotions. For example, when Todd asks if he can take a long trip to recover a wrong shipment, he declines the request in a very indirect manner. First, he says, no problem. But after that, he expressed many excuses that he cannot go, like, I must sleep and I must take care of my mom. All this reflect high contact culture. Next, orientations. Task-oriented culture focus on making the members more competent and are highly concerned with individual success. In the field, Todd focuses more on task and productivity concerns come first. Typically, he is less concerned with the idea of catering to the staff. For example, he keeps asking the staff to learn more about American and training them for native English. The purpose is only to achieve a lower MPI rating. In contrast, social-oriented cultures focus more on collective concerns such as corporate problem solving and maintain a good atmosphere. In the field, Puru focuses more on social need and productivity concerns, always comes after the human and the social needs. And he spends a lot of time on socializing, normally with higher job satisfaction. For example, when Todd has stomach problems from eating gola, Puru abandons his job responsibilities to find food for Todd. So from this point, it reflects social oriented cultures. So next, Xiang will introduce more dimensions of intercultural communication.
Thank you. So, so I'm here today to talk to you about short-term and long-term orientation. Just to bring you up to speed, what is short-term orientation? We talk about focusing on immediate gratification and instant reward. So you want something to happen, you want it to happen quick. Or long-term orientation explains for itself, you focus on seeing the big picture, and then you are willing to sacrifice some of your short-term benefits so that you can get bigger rewards at the end, or long-term in the long run. Okay, so for short-term in this case, in the screenshot, you can see their happy faces. You know, you can see your screen. Actually, the call center workers, they just got retrenched, and you know, who in the right mind would be happy about being retrenched? In this case, it's because they are happy. They were caught saying that, you know, oh, finally we can take a break and go for a vacation, or we can go to Microsoft and Dell to look for jobs. Because to them, they see this job as a job. It's not a career for them. And to them, it's paid training. They are getting paid, and then they are trained to do so. Now they have this skill set, they can move to other places. So short-term benefits. For long-term, it's taught. Just now you've seen the video. He went in. Now he has a very serious face because his boss asked him to go to India to go and take over the call center, but he doesn't want to. And in the end, he went. Why? Because he's sacrificing his short-term happiness for long-term rewards, such as his career, his position, and his stock investments. Okay, so why am I talking to you about short-term and long-term orientation? It's because once you can find out a person's orientation when you're talking to him or interacting with him, you can actually sort of sense his motivation. And by aligning his orientation with your rewards, you can work out the right tricks for him to have a responsive conversation with him. So you can even hold the upper hand in negotiation, as well as keeping the audience interest. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about truth versus virtue. So truth and virtue, on first look, it might seem fairly unrelated, but okay, sorry. Okay. Truth in this case is focusing on the absolute truth and a clear answer, while virtue talks mainly about meaning, beliefs, and values. Okay, so I'll give you a slightly more clear example. So in Western religions, they deal with absolute truth. Why do I say so? You think about Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They are all very different, distinct religion, but why I say they are all dealing with truth? They all have a single book that they worship. So for Judaism, you have the Torah, Christianity, you have the Bible, and Islam, you have the Quran. So all these, they have this book that says that, oh, this is what happens, read it. Okay? While for Eastern religions, they deal with more of values, such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism. They don't tell you, oh, this is the thing that happened. I mean, they do, but they don't have a book for it. Instead, they amplify their values through the things they do and the stories that you hear, like, you know, Journey to the West, or things like, you must be nice to your parents, you don't lie, not your cut off your tongue, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you a short video. This video, the context is that Asha and Todd, they are going for a supply run, and then Todd sees this little statue in the car that he asked Asha about. So while watching this video, I need you all to notice their body language, their facial expression.
You know, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of her. I think she's following me around.
Oh, that's Kali, the goddess of destruction.
Why would you want the goddess of destruction in your car?
Sometimes destruction is a good thing. She ends one cycle, so a new one can begin. Why don't you ask her for something?
Alright. Let's try something for me, so I'll understand.
Okay. Okay, so now you just watch the video, we move in deeper. So Todd is the representative of truth. Why? Because he's coming from a Western country. He didn't really understand the concept of God of destruction. And even when Asha explained to him, he took it, you know, he believed only half, because at the end, if you notice his body language, he said something along that line of destroy something for me so I understand. If you think about it, you're conversing with him, usually it sounds like a dare, you know, dare, destroy something so I can understand. So he wants to be convinced of the truth, which really reflects where he comes from, a Western country. Compared to Asha, virtue, dealing with virtue, she really believes in the God of destruction and the deeper meaning behind it. And you can see, to her, it's not just a value, but it's a belief. So when Todd said, why do you have it in your car? She gave the look of bewilderment, like a bit puzzled, saying, why are you asking this question? Then she realized, to her it's a no.
Wrap up quickly.
Alright, so why am I talking to you about truth versus virtue? Is because it gives you a better understanding of perspective. You understand what people, where people come from, you can understand their background. But they are different but not entirely opposing views, so you can believe in both. And will result in better intercultural communication. So I'll pass on the time to Jermaine, talk to you a bit more.
Okay, thank you, Zhi Xiang. For now, I'll be covering what is individualism versus collectivism. So for individualism, it is the priorities of the person's personal freedom and personal achievement. So he or she will put his or her own interests and family members first ahead of his or her own social group. So examples would be United States and Canada. Next, we'll move on to the other side of the spectrum, which is collectivism. Collectivism is when a person is able to sacrifice his or her own personal freedom to foster the social group. This will result in stronger social group ties and values. This is more prevalent in Eastern cultures such as India, Japan, and Korea. So here are a few scenarios. The first one is when Todd touches down into India and Puro changes Todd's accommodation from a hotel to a communal guest house. This is despite Todd's objections because Puro, as a collectivist, thinks that it is better for him to stay in a communal environment. Next would be Todd's astonishment to find that Asha actually has a pre-arranged marriage. This is in counter to his worldview that a person should be able to dictate his or her own love life. Next, we move on to managing of intercultural relations. So the first part would be to robustly understand what is the other party's culture so that you can know what to say and what not to say. So here we have a video that shows what a person should be saying in terms of local slang.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you kindly be telling me what is